Welcome back to the channel, buddy, and I hope you're doing fine. So, I greet you to another hunger video, and finally I can do these videos again, covering just some, theory crafting, because I know if I would have done that earlier, everybody would have just posted comments like, where gameplay? Where PvP? I want to see some actual footage. Now that we have that out of the way, we can cover the missives that they started to share in the Discord and on the Steam page. So I will break that down, so this is going to be more of a podcast episode. I still have it on my schedule that we will do some other videos that I announced in the latest Hunger video, where I try to show more about the game. I'm currently talking to the team to discuss what kind of, topics we can showcase. So I pitched a few ideas. I want to do the dungeons, but the dungeons, they want to show that a little bit later because they want to improve them a bit more before showing them, which I can totally understand. So I would say we have a look at the first missive, and that is about health. And here we go, missive number 1. Maybe you've seen this already, alright, but I try to do a little bit of info sharing about stuff that is maybe not mentioned here. Just one more thing before we start, I will put a link to this in the description below in case you want to check it out yourself. Alright, let's go. Missive 1, health. On medicine and the cost of staying alive. Hello living, this marks the beginning of our missives, a series of focused insights into the design of hunger and its systems. We'll be releasing new missives regularly, helping to better acquaint you with the world after the end. Every wound tells a story. In hunger, survival is measured not by what you avoid, but by how well you recover. Today's missive looks at the system that governs health, healing, and the fragile space between life and death. This is something that I hope they keep doing, because honestly, after this very short teaser/trailer that they put out a couple months ago, they were a little bit of radio silent. So these dev blog posts are really a good thing to keep in touch with the community and just to feed us some info bits before the game hits early access early 2026. The nature of health. Your health represents the living body's final measure of endurance. It is the last line of defense beneath your armor, and when it fails, there is no recovery. So you saw it already in the gameplay video that I dropped recently. You equip armor pieces, right? So you can have head armor, chest armor, and there's also leg armor, in case you skilled that in your mastery tree. Now, to get the actual armor value that protects you from damage, that gives you basically more health, you need a chest piece. They come in different rarities, starting with gray, going up to legendary. Gray is basically 1 bar of armor, and you go up to 5, and you get like an additional 100 health armor. Every player begins with a default of 100 health, a finite resource that can only be restored through medical intervention. Damage is taken through combat, environment, or status effects. So combat is clear. Somebody hits you, somebody shoots you. Environment, so there is fall damage in the game, and the fall damage is actually quite severe. There are also traps, so you can run into some booby traps, into some tripwires. They will blow up. They will either deal pure damage or they will apply bleed. And there's a little bit more. I don't want to spoil everything right now. Status effects I mentioned right now: bleed. Some weapons can make you bleed. And also some guns or traps. Bleed in hunger. The moment you move, you take damage. So again, we are in a pre-alpha development stage, so this might change. There's also poison. So we have right now in the game bleed and poison. There is also a flash bomb effect, but that one is an ult from Eva. Just for the sake of completion, those are the status effects that you can have right now. To recover health, players rely on medicine, specialized items that repair what the body cannot. Medicines fall into many categories, but we'll highlight 2 today. Repeated use items, which can be used indefinitely but restore health slowly. Single use consumables, which act quickly but are lost after use. Both are vital, both carry risk. All medicine items are equipped to your medicine slot and must be actively used to take effect. Design goals. Our approach to healing in hunger follows a simple rule: it should be possible but not perfect. We want players to be able to heal during combat, but not so immediately that the recovery becomes untouchable or leads to endless healing loops. Medicine is designed to be limited, either in repetition or rate, forcing you to think carefully about when and where to use it. Timing matters, as does position, cover, and the cost of attention. Every choice to heal should carry the risk of being seen, caught, and interrupted. Basically, the message that they want to send across is, if you take damage, it should be meaningful. Also, when you deal damage, it should be meaningful. It's slightly annoying when you deal a lot of damage, and then they just heal up to full. That always feels a little bit weird. I think that the games that I play right now actually are doing a good job. For example, Showdown has some items where you can heal to full health in a matter of seconds with a big vitality shot, or with some traits you can also do it with a medkit rather fast. So that is cool, but the resource is limited. You get normally 3 to 4 medkit charges, and people carry 1 to 2 vitality shots. So longer fights actually become a combat of resources, which I absolutely love, because it means the damage that you dealt in the end will force the other team to retreat, or you can push for the victory. So that's nice. Some other games where you can just heal non-stop, very fast, very quickly, I think this is not the way to go for games like Hunger. So this so far seems to be really good. This balance ensures that survival feels earned, not automated. Healing is not about erasing mistakes, it is about managing consequences. Wow, that's a nice sentence. We've designed health as a standardized resource across all players, rather than something that scales dramatically with progression. A new player should not begin with 50 health, while a veteran has 5,000. That kind of disparity would make genuine competition impossible. By keeping health consistent, we can balance the time to kill the TTK across all weapons and encounters. Better weapons in Hunger may shorten the TTK, but they do not grant invulnerability or guarantee victory. Skill, positioning, and decision-making remain the deciding factors. So this is always a difficult balancing topic, because on one hand, people need to have a reason that they farm gear in a looter-shooter. On the other hand, the gap cannot be too big, because otherwise you get moments like in Escape from Tarkov, where, well, you wear tier 6 armor and the other dude has the absolute trash ammo. You will have a rough time killing the guy. Sure, I know there's leg ammo and ripper ammo and stuff like that. I played Tarkov myself quite a bit, but I think you get the idea. So there needs to be a gap to give people a reason to farm stuff, but the gap can't be too big that it just turns into, you know, I just quickly stomp you and GG. So this is something where hopefully the next playtests will actually show in which direction this is going. And if people with gear will just stomp people, then there needs to be a little bit of tuning. It's always a bit difficult though, because in these playtests sometimes you have people that, well, played already the game, and they will have also a knowledge advantage. And if you put that into the equation of balance, it becomes a little bit tricky. So once the game hits early access, I think it's easier to discuss then how balanced all of this will be, and it will just need tweaking, like any other game. I mean, look at Tarkov, for example, and Showdown. After all these years, they still have some balance changes every now and then to try to get a better balance system. So, let's see how they will do it. But enough of that, let's talk about the items that you can use in Hunger. Let's start with the Bloodbag. The Bloodbags represent the repeated use type of medicine. They are slow, methodical instruments of recovery designed for those who prepare early and heal deliberately. In the world of Hunger, Bloodbags are a form of self-transfusion, filled with your own siphoned blood before an expedition. They are heavy, clumsy, and faintly unsettling, but when the fighting ends, they are your best choice of replacing what you've lost. Okay, that's pretty gnarly, I have to say. I like these little bit of, you know, lore explanation. Why do we have blood bags? From where's the blood coming from? So that's kind of cool. Using a blood bag cannot be done from your inventory. It must be equipped, and once used, your character enters a continuous healing state, restoring health gradually over time. Different rarities of blood bag improve both recovery rate and efficiency. The best of them can replenish at a far higher rate, but all share the same demand: exposure. You are vulnerable while healing, and every second you spend recovering is a second the world can punish you for. Okay, now here's the thing with the blood bags. They are your free healing. So getting a grey blood bag, for example, is simple. Once you know where medical containers are, there's a high chance you will find them. And this is important because this is your base healing. You will F up at the beginning, right? You will get hit, and you will not have access to the good healing stuff. So learning very quickly where you can find medical containers to get at least a grey blood bag to have like non-stop healing, because they cannot run out. They cannot run out. So once you have a blood bag, you will always be able to top up your health. Now, there are a few drawbacks to that, obviously. First of all, the grey blood bag takes forever. This is really something meant to heal you out of combat, not in combat. Which I'm actually fine, because it's an unlimited resource. The next thing is, you hear a sound effect that, first of all, is slightly unsettling, to be completely honest with you. But it's also affecting what you hear. So you might miss a few footsteps when people push you. You might miss maybe a reload that you would normally hear around the corner, telling you there's somebody vaulting, opening doors, stuff like that. So you have to be careful when to use them. But I'm happy that Hunger has an item that is rather easy to find. You can also craft those. So if you always want to leave with a good blood bag, you can go, I think it's a physician profession that lets you craft those. So you can prepare for the expedition. Also, Pierrot, that's the medic in the first zone in the chateau. That vendor, I think he sells a blood bag every now and then too. Okay. Enough talking about the blood bag. Rather easy to get, infinite use, slow healing with a few drawbacks. Let's have a look at the ampoules. Ampoules. The ampoules represent immediacy, single-use inhalable medicines that restore health far more quickly than blood bags, but at the cost of scarcity. They can be used in the field to recover from critical damage, providing a rapid boost of vitality over a few seconds. However, the effect can be interrupted by taking damage, cancelling the healing and wasting the resource. Ampoules can be stacked in the inventory and are often carried as emergency supplies. Each rarity tier improves potency and speed, culminating in the most refined medicines known to the living. In short, blood bags offer steady recovery, while ampoules deliver instant reprieve, a split-second lifeline when every moment counts. The one thing that I'm not a huge fan of is interrupted by taking damage. Because getting the higher tier ones, you have multiple ones. You have the grey ones, you have green, blue, purple, and legendary. And the legendary ones, the orange ones, I think I found in total maybe 4 on my main character, and that main character is level 86. So again, everything is pre-early access, so they might tune some drop rates, obviously, okay? And you don't carry 50 or 100 of them with you. In the playtest, I think I had like 10 that I used from the green ones or grey ones. And something that will be a little bit tricky for people is learning how to heal mid-melee combat. Melee combat is rough, in a good way. The moment you take damage, very often it feels like permanent damage. Because you cannot just simply put your weapon away. Oh yeah, let me just store my axe. Let me get out my healing drugs here. Let me take a sniff. The other dude is standing in front of you with their spear and they will just stab you in the face. So learning how to disengage, then using a healing ampoule, and then keep fighting in melee without getting hit, which will cancel the damage, or which will cancel the healing, that will be rough. Now keep in mind though, this is also very important in today's video, that we are covering 2 sources of healing, and there are more. There will be mastery traits, there will be tacticals, there will be ultimates, for example from Ayrae. There are more ways to heal. Okay, and maybe they will even add more consumables and tools in the future that will help you with that. So if this feels a little bit like, ooh, there's not a lot of healing, I think we should let them cook, because they're really good at that right now, and see how the end product of the gameplay loop will actually look like. Okay, we're almost done with this blog post, so let's keep going. Healing in practice, the tension between slow, repeated use recovery and fast consumable healing is deliberate. A mirror to the armor system, which we will be exploring in the near future, and part of Hunger's rhythm of survival, preparation versus reaction, endurance versus urgency. After Hunger's early access launch, more and more medicines will be introduced. Nice. Devices to stabilize allies, stop bleeding, or even share health between players. Cooperation will become a form of medicine itself. Well, maybe I should have read the whole thing in advance. Well, what you gonna do? So, what they have right now is already pretty sweet. So that's enough for today's video. I will cover more missives, and I also need to catch up on the lore videos. I just didn't do them anymore because the comment section was always like, we're gameplay. And you know what? I understand that. But now that's out of the way, so I need to catch up on that too. But there are hunt drops. There's arc raiders. Yeah, lots of work. As always, in case you enjoy these little info videos that we're doing about hunger, keep in mind there's a whole playlist. A like would be appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe because this channel will cover a lot of hunger content. I'm not always trying to be the first one to get the stuff out. I try to be the guy who has a good video. That's it. So yeah, some people might be faster than me. I don't care about that. I just want to have a quality video. Make people happy. With that, let's roll the outro. Sweet guys, I'm super pumped for Hunger. It's been a while since I've been that excited for a game that was not Hunt Showdown. So, big shout out to my patrons. Thank you very much for supporting me over there. You guys are absolutely amazing. And then the link tree, in case you want to connect with me on other social media. There are quite a few options to do so. Maybe you will find something that you like. And with that, nothing more to say. I see you next one. Until then, have a good day and bye.